Seconded, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Those pass. At this time, we are really thrilled to have our next presentation here, and it's a really important moment for this campus. I'd like to invite Patricia Barella Rivera and Ramona Martinez to the podium with a presentation on the Colorado Hispanic History Museum. And before we invite you to join us, I am going to ask Colleen to say a few words just to share a little bit about this moment we are in today for the campus. So Colleen, we'll go ahead and let you take it away, and then we'll welcome you to make your presentation. Sorry.
Awesome. Thank you, Madam Chair. It is a pleasure, a great honor to welcome these two esteemed individuals whose leadership has helped bring forward a project of significant historical and educational value for our campus and the broader community. We have been talking with our board and the executive committee about this project for more than a year and a half. Today you will hear from Ramona Martinez and Patricia Barella Rivera, co-founders of the Colorado Hispanic History Fund, the nonprofit leading the effort to establish the Colorado Hispanic History Museum. This initiative has already garnered meaningful philanthropic support and the endorsement of the Governor of Colorado, reflecting its importance at both the state and local levels. Ramona and Patricia are here today to formally request an option to ground lease the home run lot, where the home run plate used to be, on the Auraria campus for a 2-year period as they continue to design, fundraise, and community engagement efforts. The specifics of that request will be outlined in the presentation, but I want to express that as CEO, I believe this is a timely opportunity that honors our state's history as well as our campus history and aligns with the long-term vision that we've been working so hard to achieve. The project supports the 2024 Auraria Campus Framework Plan. It advances our goals around cultural activation and community-centered development. It also furthers the objectives of the Auraria Strategic Plan by enhancing campus life in ways that reflect and serve our diverse student body. So with that, please help me welcome two phenomenal women, Ramona and PBR.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Colleen, for that great introduction. Before I start, I want to introduce two folks that are very important to this whole project here. One is, of course, the Honorable Polly Baca, who was the first Latina to be elected to the state legislature, and Rick Garcia, a former member of Denver City Council. Rick is on the board of directors, which Patricia will address, and Polly was also one of the founders of the 501c3. You know, the Colorado Hispanic History Museum is a pioneer initiative, part of the state's America 250, Colorado 150 celebrations. We want to celebrate in 2026 our heritage in a big way. The governor told me when he appointed me, think big, Ramona, so I did. But I didn't do it alone. On October 11th, 2023, I was accompanied by a very, very active individual who has been an advocate for the Auraria campus and what you do over here. Virginia Castro and Milo Marcus accompanied me to the meeting where I, as the commissioner, had to give a report or give ideas in this report of what the community would like to see in 2026. One of the initiatives was the museum. The report was accepted by the commission that day. And after that, we have worked for the last year and a half, so I only have 5 or 10 minutes to move forward. But the Colorado Hispanic History Museum is a pioneer initiative for the Hispanic Latino community to honor Colorado's earliest settlers as part of the state's America 250 and Colorado 150 celebrations. The museum is a step forward to tell untold stories that shaped our state and nation. Approved, like I said, by the Colorado 150 Commission, October 2023. After several sites that we looked at throughout the city, metropolitan area, we were accompanied one day by University of Colorado Board of Regents, Norbert Chaffis, and he said, Why are you over here? We were looking at a lot across the street. Why are you over here? Why don't you go ask the governor to give you a plot or give you a space on Auraria? So we did. The Honorable Polly Baca, Patricia, and I met the governor, and he said, absolutely, I support this project. He asked Colleen and her magnificent staff, by the way, you've got a great staff here. They have been absolutely, I cannot tell you how much we appreciate every single one of them that has helped us. We went back, we met with them, and we finally found, after listening to some community concerns, this lot, thank you very much, which will build a standalone museum with community support and a community board of directors that will move this forward. Now let's talk a little bit about the vision, because the vision is really important. You know, 28 years ago, Polly, Patricia and I, and other folks in the community thought we need this community, our community that we were working so hard with, we needed a home. 28 years ago, we tried this whole project and we didn't quite make it. We got the building, but we lost it because we didn't have strong enough partners to work with us on it. AHAC, Auraria campus, is a very strong partner in this whole project if it's going to get done. The Colorado Hispanic History Museum, and we are going to include our indigenous brothers and sisters. I'm 38% Native American and very proud of it. And as a native of Coloradoan, born and raised in this state, I'm a 7th to 8th generation. So I could tell you that we will include the history from 1500 all the way to present in this. And I can't do it. It's going to be the board of directors. Our vision is very simple. We want a complex of social, cultural, and historical focuses that shape our state and nation from the 1500s on. And that's what our vision is. Let the community build this with you. Patricia has an exceptional board of directors that she'll go into for you, and how the structure is being proposed today. And I think you will see how much community support and how much community will be involved throughout the state of Colorado in this endeavor. Now, laying the foundation. I already mentioned about the 501c3 and the guiding of the vision and the strength in partnership. It's your partnership that can help us, this community, which is 1/3 of the population in this state. And over 700,000 people live in Denver. And Denver is the top tourist attraction in this state. But you know what's really interesting is that the tourists that come to the state of Colorado come from California, Texas, Arizona, where have the largest populations of Hispanics in the country. They come to Denver in large numbers every year as tourists. Can you imagine this museum on that little old vacant lot, which looks like nothing can be built there, but it can, to be able to come and see not only the museum, but can bring their children to your campus as well. I mean, these are the kind of things that are possible with this kind of partnership. So, next is Patricia, because Patricia is doing a lot of this. And I want to tell you, when I got on the commission and the governor told me, I want you to represent the Hispanic community, you've done it for 40 years, you can keep doing it. I said, I'm too old for this. So I appointed Virginia, because she knew a lot about the campus and she knew about our history. And even though she, was born in New Mexico, and so she's been very active in this community and a friend, to be on the advisory board for the commission. She was my advisory board member. I also asked the governor, please put a young Hispanic on the board to help me. We need young blood. And that's what he did. He appointed Milo Marcus on the board. So I had to really appreciate the fact that I was able to get support. But not only that, but community members like Rick Garcia and others that are here today. support for them to help move this forward. So Patricia, you're on.
Okay, we're going to. Thanks, Rick. I know we're like frickin' frack. Everybody says you too, because we have different personalities, but I love it. I just love it. So I'm Patricia Barella Rivera, and thank you so much. We are really honored to be here, and thanks for taking time and Colleen for your wonderful words, and of course, Chairperson. We're really excited about this. So as Ramona said, we're going to talk about, basically, I'm going to talk about mission and goals and our great board, and it is a 501c3. We established the 501c3 on January 2024. And if you go back to the guiding vision, it was Ramona, that one right there. So she kind of talked about laying the foundation. I'm going to talk about the guiding vision, and what we've done is, although Ramona, and I tell people this when we make presentations, all Ramona and I have been doing, and Polly, have just building the foundation. It's like building a house. You have to have a strong foundation before you build a house. So what we've done is we are building the foundation. After we build a foundation, this museum will belong to the community, not to Ramona and me. We're the builders here. And so it'll belong to the 501c3, to the members of the 501c3. And I think that's truly, that's really important, because there's not going to be ownership of one or two people. It's going to belong to the community. Again, it's about economic empowerment. And that's why we're so proud to be here to present this. On the next slide, you can't read it. It says strengthen partnerships. Of course, as Ramona told you, he worked with the governor. We went and met with him. He says, absolutely, I love the idea. He says, go to AHEC, work with Colleen and her staff, which we've done. And again, I can't tell you enough how much staff means to us. I mean, all of your staff, they're like family, seriously. We've just gotten so close. It's wonderful. And also, I just want to say, in terms of partnerships, we did go to the History Colorado that all of you know about, and we made a presentation to their board of directors, and a few months ago, probably 5-6 months ago, and they are willing to work with us, with the board, and what they want to do is they want to collaborate with a 501c3 in reference to assistance such as technical advice, in terms of guidance and exhibits and artifacts, since they have the education, the experience, and artifacts, and they're willing to partner with us, and we still have to work on a memorandum of understanding. And also, as I mentioned earlier, the strength is working with the Auraria campus in AHEC. It's been phenomenal. Also, but the real issue is we're bringing together a statewide collaboration of communities from all over the state. The other piece that I want to talk about is we want to add an educational lab, not just a museum for exhibits and art and cultural history, but we feel that adding an educational lab will really make a difference for students on campus. You're talking, well, yeah, I think you have, is it 30% Hispanic on campus? Colleen, something like that? But it's more than that. It's African American, it's Native American, Asian, older people, younger people. It's very intergenerational in terms of your 3 campuses, as you know, Maria Elena. And this is just an ideal piece of an educational lab. And what we want to do with that is we want it to be interactive. We want to have a hands-on research. We want to have internships. We want to have a program where people can look at the collections of museums, also both on-site and virtual, in terms of online platforms, workshops, tours, historical speakers. And what we're really wanting to do is, when Ramona and I went out and did outreach to the communities, what was great is we want to make sure that the museums around the state are a part of this. We want to bring in, if they have gift shops, their products from their individual community to show them here. And the speakers from the San Luis Valley, from Durango, from Steamboat Springs, from Fort Morgan. And so it's going to be really collaborative. This educational lab, we feel, is going to be a major star in this because, again, it's about collaboration of teaching people what we're about, because that is what's so critical. Before I go on to the next slide of our board of directors, I just also want to say that what we did is History Colorado did 14 listening sessions on their own. They paid a consultant. They went around to 14 different areas in the state, which was great. And then Ramona and I, we did our own outreach. I was the driving Miss Daisy all around the state. And we had a great time. And we went to the whole San Luis Valley, because that's where it's predominantly, Hispanic and indigenous communities. We went to San Luis Valley, we went to Colorado Springs, Fort Collins, Denver, and we went to a lot of areas that we felt were real, and met with key leaders in the community and got feedback from them because we wanted to know, and they were positive ideas. People said, yes, for the first time, someone is really valuing who we are in terms of our culture. And we're talking about Native American, we're talking about Mexican and Spaniards, who were the first settlers of Colorado. That's who we want to highlight in this museum, because it's important for every one of us to learn about that history. If you'll go to the next slide on the board of directors, we have 23 people on the board of directors. We're really proud of this because they're from all over the state. And we have them from, they're in alphabetical order by their first names. And we've got people from Durango, San Luis, Alamosa, Grand Junction, Centennial, Lakewood, Denver, Trinidad, Longmont, Fort Collins. And right now I've got 3 resumes on my desk that we're looking at of 3 different individuals that want to be representing Colorado Springs. And also Steamboat. We're waiting for some people to call us from the Steamboat because we want to make sure it's the total community that's involved, because it will belong to the community. Again, I was very, very strategic on this board. It's all ages. It's very intergenerational. Gender, male, female. I have this thing about equity. Hispanic, we have Hispanic board members. We have Native American, African American, Asian, and non-minority. So that's what the world looks like. So that's why we wanted to be on the board. What's fascinating about this board, we've got people from various areas. We've got people who do outreach in their community. We have financial people, architecture. We have banking, small business, museum and historical expertise, art and culture, technical and also technical, IT, real estate, management, fundraising and marketing, and nonprofits. That's the spectrum of all these people that they bring to the museum, because that's important. We also, Ramona and I also, what we did is we needed some legal advice. And we realized that we've been working with AHEC's legal person, with Skip, but we felt that we needed other people to look at, other legal things that may be going on with the 501c3. So we found 2 firms that are doing our work for us legally pro bono. They're doing it free for us. Thank you, God, because that's expensive. But we told them, and Ramona made a contact, and I did too, and absolutely, and these are, one is Ireland Stapleton, and then we have another consultant also, a legal consultant, who's looking at our 501c3 and all our policies and procedures, because we want to be above board and transparent about everything. The next thing is funding. We have, how am I doing on time?
We're giving a little time.
Okay, I will. I just have a page and a half. Okay, I'll do it. Okay, so funding, we have 2 funding commitments. One from Colorado Health for $2 million, and the Salazar Foundation for $1 million. We did this in a week and a half. We went to them, and again, it's about relationships. And so also, I want to just say that the enterprise zone that this property is going to be on, it's a 25% tax credit to anyone that donates to the museum. That is important. So again, and I gotta tell you, the reason that they're committing their money, and we know other foundations, we have a list of other foundations that wanna talk to us, but we're not doing it yet until hopefully we get the property. Is that the reason that they gave us the money, they said, you are in a perfect location in Denver. Look at the students. Look at where Auraria Parkway is. Look at the new building that's going to be done across the street, the Cronky. And so it's also about visitorship. It's about access to the entire community. Also, the next thing is that we had 2 board meetings already. We met on April 29th, we met on April 20th, and then at the end of July, we're going to have a 2-day board retreat. And then we're going to discuss the strategic plan for creating and building the museum. The roles and responsibilities, basically, of the museum are, number 1, it is going to be 100% belonging to the community, to the board. And again, there's no ownership of anyone. The real issue is the board is responsible, as many of you know, for fiscal, legal, ambassadorship, outreach. They will even look at hiring the director and maybe even staff. That's their responsibility, is the board's responsibility. There are 4 committees under the board that we came up with as a draft: fundraising, outreach programs, and exhibits. And we want the entire community around the state to also populate those those different committees. Now, at our board retreat, those committees may change because the board may come up with different committees. We don't know. We're going to do that at the retreat. So again, it's really on the board, on those committees, so that they, in partnership with the board, can work on the museum. And also, let's go now to the institutions. Right there is, of course, Maria Elena, Community College of Denver, Metro State with Janine. Hi, Janine, I know you're listening. And of course, the University of Colorado. I mean, it couldn't be a better partnership. Also, we can go on to the next one. Okay, if you notice, this is between, see the hotel on the right and the one on the left? The hotel is on the right, the ballpark is on the left, that empty lot. See that long gray piece right there? That's where the museum will be built. I mean, and it's location, 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 right? So those will give you a perspective of what, and we're looking at also parking, possibly with Tivoli. They might give us a discount, maybe on weekends. The RTD line goes right in front of will be going right in front of the museum. So we're in the talking stages about the parking issue. And it is a stand-alone museum. It's not going to be in a building. Because at first, we were going to be on the first floor with 3 other floors above us. Thank you, God, it all worked out. Now we have a standalone. It'll belong to the community. So, if we'll go to the next, okay, these are examples in different cities of that size of property and what it can look like. So this is just basically the visuals in terms of our perspective in visuals. Is there another one? I think there's another one, right? Yeah, there's another one. To give you an idea that these particular examples are the same size of that lot that we can, build that. Okay, and we can go to the next one. Okay.
And I think
that skips, but okay, okay, now if you'll go, that skips piece, but go on, there should be, there, our supporters. The governor, the commission 15250, Auraria, which is AHEC, MSU, of course we're partnering with CCD and with the University of Colorado, and I don't think we had time to get their logos, which we should have, but it'll be there. Columbia Ventures is Zivan Anaya, he's the developer. The Salazar Foundation, the Colorado Health Foundation, and there's the lawyer, the pro bono lawyers, Arlen Stapleton. And so we want to thank these supporters and all of you in the audience, because you're part of this. This is your museum. It belongs to everybody, and that's what we're so excited about. So we want to thank you so much. And I just want to say one last thing, and I'm done. So I have some quick bullet points about this newly created museum. It's historical, it's timely, It's affordable with funding potential nationally and locally. It's feasible in terms of the acquisition of land, in terms of planning, architectural design. It's a next and new generational engagement. It's culturally focused and connected with various cultural groups. It's a total community involvement, 100%. It's an ideal location, and also we're building a legacy that we're so proud of, from our past to our future, especially for our children, for our community, for our generations, and plus all the Colorado citizens. And the reason, as Ramona indicated, the reason, you know, she's, I'm from New Mexico. I'm 7th generation Hispanic, Latina, and I am like 45% Spanish and 30-some% Native American and Iberian Peninsula. So those not only comes from our heart, but it's about our communities coming together and being proud that they can go into a place that says, this is me, this is what I'm all about, this is so wonderful. And of course the education piece will be phenomenal. So thank you for listening to us. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Ramona, Patricia, thank you so much. This is such a wonderful opportunity for the campus. What staff is asking the board to do today is grant the CEO authority to execute the option to ground lease with the 501c3 foundation. All the option will do is promise from us not to sell the land for the next 2 years. Now, 2 years is a little bit of a long time for an option. It's typically 1 year, but we're going for the full 2 years to give the museum plenty of time to ramp up on its fundraising and its design. The option cannot be exercised until we negotiate an actual ground lease from the property. So that'll be brought back to the board before we move forward. So the board will still have control and the ultimate say on whether or not to move forward. So again, today we're just asking the board for permission to exercise this option, which says we will not sell this property for the next 2 years, and we will work on a ground lease in that time period with the museum.
Thank you, Steph.
Thanks.
So we do have a resolution in front of us to authorize the CEO to negotiate the ground lease, negotiate the option to ground lease as presented. However, before we get to that, I'd like to ask if there's any questions or comments from the board.
Thank you, Chair. Of course, as a Latina leader here on this campus, I could not be more excited about this project. This is incredibly important to my own heritage. It's something that I actually tried to pull off in Florida and sits in one of the failure columns in my leadership. So I'm really excited about the potential of seeing this come to life here on the Auraria campus. And I know you're excited about standalone. I hope that we can continue to talk about the verticality of that and making sure that we incorporate the different institutions. We've got a great deal of archaeological finds that are locked away in a closed room that hurts my heart all the time, and I'm just really thrilled and pledge my support, the support of the Community College of Denver, our foundation, to help you make this a reality.
First, I'd like to thank Patricia, Polly, Rick, and Ramona for being here this morning. I serve as a displaced Aurarian on this board of directors, which when I became a board member, I remember distinctly standing in this room and saying that I am standing on the shoulders of my ancestors. And I remember my grandmother, who was a curandera, hosting Sunday dinners here. So I grew up in this neighborhood and I went to school here. So it's very, very dear to my heart. But I want to take this opportunity to thank AHAC for being so committed to community, particularly our community, the Latino community, the indigenous community. And I think about the displaced Aurarians and how much they have achieved over the last year and a half with the collaboration of AHAC with the 9th Street and the Peace Garden. This is just another added component to celebrate community that we've not had that opportunity historically in the state of Colorado. And I think that this is just a tremendous opportunity to celebrate our heritage. So thank you so very much.
Wonderful. Well, I just want to first say how incredible it is to have so many incredible luminaries with us for this conversation. I want to take a moment publicly to congratulate PBR on your recent Lifetime Achievement Award
Yes.
that you've been recognized. I think, unfortunately, as I shared with the staff, I will not be able to vote on this resolution because of I have a double conflict. PBR is on my board for Courageous Colorado, and my father is serving on the board for this incredible project. Close to it, but I will be able to speak to how important it is. One of the things I think is critical, we began this meeting with a land acknowledgement. And that land acknowledgement is only powerful if you make it real. And today, we have an opportunity to make it real. The commitment to those that came before us, the ancestors who came before us, and the future generations who are part of this land and its history and heritage. This museum, how inspiring to have this on this campus as a hub and a beacon for all that's possible for our communities. Thank you for all the work ahead to make it possible. And thank you for this incredible work.
Incredibly well put, thank you. Okay, well, at this time, I will ask for a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the CEO to negotiate the option to ground lease as presented.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, and I also want to acknowledge that both Janine and Elliot, the regent from representing CU, have voted affirmatively. So this motion carries, and just thank you for your leadership. We look forward to continued conversations in the future.